Hello everyone, welcome to iSmile Academy. In today's session, we will study how to solve the IP address allocation problem for the virtual machines. So many times what happens when we turn on the virtual machine, we don't get the IP address. Sometimes if we are using two virtual machines for some practical purpose, we get the same IP address in both the machines. So in today's session, I will show you how we can allocate the given IP address and two different IP addresses in case we are using two different virtual machines. So I have two Kali Linux virtual machines, one and the other is the clone of that. I will start it and show you. So I start the virtual box. So here I have the Kali Linux virtual machine and this is the clone of that. Okay. So I'll start both the machines. This is the first step, powering up the first machine. After logging into the machine, we have this is the first machine, the Kali Linux, and this is the second one. Okay. So let us come to the first one. I open up a terminal and I type the command ifconfig to get the IP address, and what I see is I can't see any IP address in this case. So this is the Ethernet address, and there is not much information we are getting about the IP address. So I come to the next machine, open up a terminal, and ifconfig, I get the same thing. There is no IP address. So this is INET 6. This is IPv 6, but I want IPv 4 address. So one thing we must ensure that this we go into the settings, click on machine and settings, and in the network we are on the bridge adapter. So this is we have to attach this network to the bridge adapter, the first one as well as the second one. So we come to the second one, and in the machine settings we see this is on the bridge. Now how to allocate the IP address? So we come back to the terminal, we open up a terminal, and then open up the configuration of the file of this particular file. So sudo, then nano, we get access to that particular file, then etc, then network, and then interfaces. So password is Kali in this case. So we get this. So here we are given the interface loop back. So we need to type some commands here actually to set up the IP address. So what do we do? In my case it is Ethernet 0, the interface. Okay, in my case the interface is Ethernet ETH 0. So I have to assign the IP address for that purpose. So auto ETH 0. Okay. In the next line we have the command interface, that is iFace. We have ETH 0, ETH 0, then iNet, and we keep it on static mode so that we can assign the IP address. Now here we assign the IP address to this particular machine. Okay, address. So I'm assigning 192.168.1.1.1. So this is the IP address of my machine which I want to allocate, and then I have to give the network mask. So net mask, net mask. The network mask is in this case 255.255.255.0, and then we also have to give the gateway. So the gateway is of course the first address of this network. So it is 192.168.1.1. Okay, so this is, I'll just copy it so that I can also, I need this information in the second machine also. So just copy this. Okay, now we are done in this case, so I need to exit. So Control X and Y for yes and enter. Now to apply the setting, we type the command sudo systemctl, then restart networking, restart. Okay, so this is done. Now if I type the command if config now, so as you can see, we are getting this IP address is 192.168.1.101. so this is the IP address of this machine. Now let us go to the second one. This is the second machine. We again type the command for accessing that particular file where we can actually type the network. So sudo, then nano, we can set the IP address in that, then of course etc, then network, and then interfaces. So Kali is the password. So here we have this same thing. So I just paste that particular thing which we had copied. Now here we only make one change here. Okay. The change is this address, the IP address. So we want this machine to be 102. Okay, because the previous we had already assigned the address as 101. This is 102. This is the only difference. So the two machines will have two different IP addresses. They are the same network. So this is the gateway of both the both the machines. So they have the they are on the same network. So we exit from here. Y for yes and okay. Now again we need to restart. So sudo systemctl restart networking. Okay, now we type the command if config. So here we got this address 192.168.1.102. now let us ping the first machine from the second one. So the IP address of the first machine is 192.168.1.101. so as you can see, the ping works. Okay, and we just give Control C. Okay, so you can see 5 packets transmitted, 5 received. Now if we count the first machine and ping the second one, so I just type the command ping 192.168.1.102. okay, this is the address of the second one. As you can see, the ping works. It means both they are able to communicate. Okay, so now this is how we can allocate the IP address and solve that IP address allocation problem. So now in case if we want to revert back to the previous case, because sometimes we need dynamic IP allocation, so we can remove that particular setting. Okay, so how to remove that? Of course, we again come to this particular file, okay, interfaces, and we can actually delete this part if we don't need. Okay, so we can just delete this part in case if you want the dynamic allocation to work for some different practicals. So we just do this, okay, and exit and yes, Y. Okay, then do the same thing in the second machine. Okay, so that's all for this session. Thanks for watching.